What's up guys, this is Tony with Salt Strong, and today we're out on the water only throwing hard baits. So I have a Topwater, I have a Wakebait, and then I have a floating Twitchbait. This is our Moonwalker, our Fat Lipper, and then our Skinny Lipper XL. So I'm typically throwing soft plastics. You know, my confidence lure is soft plastics, but I put all the plastics away and I'm going with the hard baits on this trip, and we're gonna see what we can come up with. Now, the order I have them in is the order that I'll be throwing them. The Topwater, typically gonna throw first, you know, when I first get out on the water, and then when the bite slows down or those fish just aren't going for the top, I will go something a little bit more subsurface, such as a Wakebait. This is our Fat Lipper. And then if that doesn't work, I'll go something that's still subsurface but a little bit different action, and that's going to be our Skinny Lipper XL. So we're going to get out here on the water and use all three of these and see if we can get some fish. My go-to retrieve with Topwater, especially when I'm just first starting out in the morning, is just a constant steady pop of the rod tip. Really no pauses or anything like that, because I'm trying to cover as much water as possible. And you'll usually at least get a blow up, might miss, but you'll get an idea if there's fish around, because you're able to cover more water with a more constant steady retrieve, long casts, and so on. Now, it stayed relatively overcast for quite a bit, which is ideal conditions to throw Topwater. There's a slight little ripple on the surface, so I figured I would get a few strikes, but really had nothing to show for it, so I ended up switching over to a Wakebait to see if I can get a strike that way. And when you're throwing a Wakebait, or really any type of hard bait, you really have to dial in what presentation the fish will respond to best. In this case, I was doing somewhat of a steady reel with a few little twitches mixed in. And this red here that I had strike but missed, I actually saw him tailing, so I did a retrieve right past him. He went for it, but just couldn't connect. Ooh. Slammed it. At this point, still hadn't landed a fish, so it was time to make a change. I went to a completely different spot, and I started throwing the suspending Twitchbait, which is our Skinny Lipper. And how that lure works is you twitch it a little bit, and it goes just underneath the surface of the water, maybe about a foot, and then it floats up to the surface when you pause your retrieve, which works really great in areas like this where you have some seagrass and you don't want it to get snagged up in that grass. But I was blind casting this. I had a good thump, and then I just kept drifting, and I ended up running over the school of some really big reds. So after spooking that school, I decided to circle around, let that spot sort of chill out for about 15 minutes, made a blind cast to where I found those fish holding, and was able to finally get a connection. So the way I'm retrieving this Skinny Lipper, just making a nice long cast, and then tighten up the line, start reeling, and then I'm just reeling while giving a few pops every now and then. Pretty sharp, aggressive pops. So it's a big lure. So I'll give a few pops, I'll reel in the slack to get it tight again, and keep popping it. Nice red on the Skinny Lipper XL. Oh. It's just blind casting. Slammed it. Yeah, I'm using our slam stick, medium power, fast action. Just 10-pound braid, 17-pound fluorocarbon leader, and our Skinny Lipper XL, it's a bigger version in the mullet HD color. It's got a realistic mullet look to it, which that red seemed to enjoy. He slammed it. Alright, let's go ahead and anchor back up. So I've only been throwing hard baits today. I had our Moonwalker on earlier, Topwater, and I had a Wakebait, Fat Lipper, and then this Skinny Lipper XL, which is a shallow floating Twitchbait. It's about 5 inches long. I'll show you once I get this fish in. It's gonna be a minute. Trying something different today. I don't usually throw hard baits a lot. more confident with soft plastics. They do work. In addition to a net, it's always good to have a pair of good fish grips on you. These are just the original fish grips. Great for getting these big fish under control. That way you can land them. Yeah, don't go under the boat. Don't go under the boat. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Got that hook right in the corner of his mouth. Nice. Let's get him. Got him. There's that Skinny Lipper XL. Nice fish. Holy cow. Wow. Big lure, big fish. So it looks like our winner today was that Skinny Lipper XL. I'm actually fishing in the springtime out here, and that almost goes against what we usually say, you know, use smaller lures in the springtime. This is a 5-inch lure. It's pretty heavy. It's 5 inches long, casts really well. You can cover a lot of water with this, but seemed to be what those fish were dialed in on. Now I did get quite a few strikes on the Fat Lipper, the Wakebait, and Topwater really didn't do much out here. So we do have overcast skies, which is why I was throwing Topwater, but really nothing going on. So if you're interested in any of these lures that I was throwing today, and also the rod, slam stick, and if you need any gear, tackle, head over to fishstrong.com, pick up some gear and tackle. And keep in mind, if you are one of our insider members, you do get a discount on all tackle and gear, so be sure to take advantage of that. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop them down below.